Hello Gemini, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and we're doing September readings today. I've got the Curious Travels Tarot deck, ooh, and I've got a rune deck and the Moonology Oracle deck. As always, these are general readings for a general Gemini audience, so please take what resonates and just leave the rest for another Gemini. I try to toss out probably too many examples of how these energies could play out for you, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. And I invite you to check out the videos for all of your major astrological placements, so like your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. Sometimes one or the other is super duper resonant, sometimes, or usually they all have something useful in there for you. 1, 2, 3. Nutties. Okay. Okay, well that's good. So, the rune you got is kind of hardcore, but it's actually really related to the Ten of Swords. This rune, Nadis, it's the need rune, or it suggests that sometimes when we go through a tough cycle, it's that thing that, or that phase that strengthens us. It's that kind of sense of what doesn't, oh, I hate saying this. It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And not that this is going to even be close to killing you, but it's like sometimes when you go through a tough cycle, it gets you focused or more determined for the next phase, so you're actually really ready and super prepared to succeed. There's got to be a better way to say it that doesn't sound so hardcore. But it's kind of like, like when times are tough and you have to get innovative or you have to get resourceful in order to make it through. It makes you smarter or stronger or more resourceful or more creative, and being able to come up with a creative solution. Have you ever seen on those like cooking competition shows when they really restricted the ingredients? Like the cook or the chef that wins the challenge is the one that's the most resourceful. How about that? Let's go with that. It's that kind of energy where when you are in a phase where you have to, when you're restricted in some way from the regular ingredients, but you get to be really creative and come up with something maybe even better that you didn't know you had in you or you didn't know you could do. That's what this particular rune is speaking to. Now, sort of relatedly, we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. So thank goodness for that. And we see this also at both the rune that's kind of about delays or restrictions that encourage creativity, and the end of a tough cycle approaches are echoed in your reading here. So let's get into it. In the first column, we actually have a couple of really positive unequivocally positive cards. The High Priestess paired with the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is obviously, you can really see in the art actually, this celebration. This can be like a harvest celebration or a get-together with friends, maybe somebody's birthday, a coworker thing, or just, girls' night, whatever it is. And this is paired with the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess, this can be you in a phase where you're working on maybe a project that involves writing or your intuition. It could be something where you're launching something involved with writing, education, your intuition. Like this could be launching a YouTube channel where you explore doing tarot readings or Reiki or, something like that. It could be going back to school or having, you could be teaching a class or something like that. It could be different for different Gemini, but often the High Priestess is associated with wisdom, women's mysteries, intuition, sort of sacred knowledge or arcane knowledge, or women's fertility, women's mystery, maybe, menopause or perimenopausal kind of issues, that sort of thing. And there could be a celebration as you launch a thing, or a reason, to get together with women or friends or something like that to celebrate whatever it is you're launching or doing. Take it as it resonates for you. Curiously, in the next column here, we have Judgment, which is such a great card. It does suggest a victory of sorts, being liberated or liberating yourself from a sort of confinement, or from maybe seeing yourself in one small kind of way and opening up to experiencing life, or expanding yourself to a new way of being, or freeing yourself into a new way of being. So in practical terms, this can show up in a number of different ways. So I'm going to throw out a few examples. Take it, how it might sort of show up for you. But this could be anything from, quitting a day job that doesn't really suit you, to explore entrepreneurial endeavors. This could be something like leaving a relationship that doesn't work, or confessing your feelings to someone. This could be honoring a sexual orientation or gender expression that maybe you hadn't had maybe the courage or the words or really the sense to be free with in the past. Something like that. It's liberating yourself from kind of being in a small or a contained place. It can also be something like letting go of self-doubt, or letting go of maybe the critiques that an old professor or teacher or schoolyard bully had of you, and just deciding to be free of, those sorts of critiques or fears or self-doubts, that sort of thing. So allowing yourself a sort of freedom to live more fearlessly is what the Judgment card is all about, being more vulnerable and honest as you approach life. Now, it's interesting that it is paired with this Five of Swords. Sometimes the Five of Swords appears after conflict or misinformation. It suggests that perhaps an email was missed or misread, some sort of communication gaffe or communication mistake happened that caused some sort of issue or scheduling problem. And the fact that it's paired here with this decision or choice to live more freely is such a it's really a beautiful pairing, that even though there has been some misunderstanding, opting to be truly yourself within this misunderstanding is the more evolved choice. So staying the course and staying in conversation to clear up the moment, to get to the bottom of the misinformation or the missed email or whatever this is, will sort of unlock this sort of opportunity. And there's a teachable moment, I think, is what this sort of column is getting to. So don't hesitate to stay in the conversation as you sort of drill down into what the cause of the misunderstanding was. In the next column, we have the Emperor and the Seven of Swords. The Emperor, of course, is the builder of the tarot, and in practical terms, this is speaking to how you stay true to your plans, stay true to your dreams, and kind of put practical steps under it. Do you need a team? Do you need employees? How do you delegate? How do you plan next steps? Is education required? Training, for whatever your dream is, whether you're, say, planning your wedding or planning your album or buying a house, the Emperor is all about having the plans and the people and the next steps. And this character is paired with the Seven of Swords, which speaks to strategy. The Seven of Swords is all about cleverness. The early bird gets the worm. I'm not very good at chess, but this would be the card of chess and sort of being one step ahead, or seeing the big picture and being able to see all the moves in advance, to be able to maximize budgets and people and moves as needed. So the Emperor would be a great strategist in terms of creating the budget and staying on budget and, creating the plans. Now, curiously, in the last column, we have that the end of the tough cycle approaches card of the tarot. We have the full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches, and this is the version, the Ten of Swords here. It's the end of something, an end of a tough cycle, and it's something that you would want to be over. It's curious because I don't see a lot over here that you would want to be over, with the exception of maybe wanting this miscommunication to be over. And there's something not quite clear about the Judgment card, but you're freeing yourself from something, so there is a sense of something that you want to be over, or something that you're liberating yourself from over here. So that's good. Now the Nine of Swords is also suggests that there's something that had been giving you sleepless nights or worries or concerns. The fact that these two are paired, I just want to pull another card because I don't love ending on this energy. Whatever it is, it's over and it's ending. But so just looking at the last, the bottom of the deck here, we have the Nine of Wands, which is another card of defense and another card actually of headaches. So I would say, and I just mentioned headaches because in the traditional card, the character on the Nine of Wands has a bandage on their head. In the traditional Nine of Swords, there is, this character is holding their head. We do have, a sword in the head here. We have a bandage in the head over here. So for those of you who do suffer from tinnitus, headaches, anything like that, I am not a medical intuitive. I cannot give medical advice. It is against the law for me to give medical advice. I would say check with your doctor. If you need any sort of medical help or medical assistance, please see your doctor, especially for headaches or anything going on with your head or your ears or your eyes or anything like that. But the final sort of card here that comes up, not just about the headache piece, but there's also this piece about saying no and giving yourself, sort of clear boundaries. It's okay to limit projects and not take on too much, not work too hard. I would say the inherent advice with this sort of last column here is please take good care of yourself as this tough cycle ends. And do be sure to make time for self-care and set appropriate boundaries. So Gemini, I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this reading, I hope you'll consider giving a like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. In any case, please take good care of yourself. Until next time, bye for now.